in around the world. My name is Smart Mado Ajaja. I am the CEO of ONN and the convener of Open Nigeria in Africa Unite. And the anchor of Nigeria Now, Global Matters are rising. Good morning, Africa, and reggae at its best on ONN. Yeah, it's been a few days since I last came live. Yes, it's all about work around derailing Nigeria, very rapidly derailing Nigeria. Nigeria has become a serious country of concern, not just to any other, to the whole world, not just to the citizens, but to the whole world. Yes, the terrorists are gaining grounds and they are doing even more dastardly things than they did before President Donald Trump made his statement. Nigerians are in a dire strait. The country is rapidly eroding. Terrorists have taken hold of the country. Seriously, Nigeria and Nigerians are in a stranglehold. Now, what happened to the giant of Africa? Yes, the giant of Africa. What happened to the giant of Africa? Or it was never a giant in the first place. Yes, what happened to Nigeria? A country of 250 million people. 250 million people in the stranglehold, in the stranglehold of a handful of terrorists masterminded by Fulani elites who have become so audacious now with provocative statements that they have been reeling out since the past few days. The most recent one just came from Professor Usman Yusuf, and I'm going to read it to you before I make any further commentary. And this is in the face of incontrovertible evidence to the effect that Fulani elites, with names mentioned, are indeed behind terrorism in Nigeria, a country that is being derailed on purpose by some who claim and are supposed to be citizens of Nigeria. And as if that is not enough, they are poking their fingers in the eyes of the Nigerian people. Weak Nigerian people. Very weak Nigerian people. Nigerian people who are still finding time to celebrate, even as their country is on fire. Nigerians who are sleeping, or I don't know how else to inform them that their country is at a war, that the Fulani elites have declared a war against them and their country. Now, let me read to you what Professor Osman Yusuf wrote. The Fulani elites love themselves. The Fulanis, typically, they love themselves. They give hell, but they don't want to take a dose of what they give to other people. Yes, now that they know the world is circling them, they are on a tirade. They hate justice, but they give injustice. For me, I prefer a war that will settle the issue of who truly owns Nigeria to a Fulani irredentist peace plan that doesn't have any atom of justice in it for the victims of their massacre. Those savages need to be cut to size. in Nigeria, like they were caught to size in Central African Republic, where they carried out heinous crimes against the indigenous peoples there, like they have been doing in Nigeria since independence, until the people there said, enough is enough, and fought back to retake their country. And this is what Nigerians must do. Ain't nobody going to do it more than them, but they. Now, before I get to Professor Usman's statement, hey, Jonathan Whitney, how are you? Thank you very much for joining. Versace, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Please, you are a Nigerian or any person who knows Nigerian, share this message. It's going to be short, but I'm coming to do a bigger message soon. Yes, if time has a beginning, how can that beginning be explained without already assuming the existence of time? Causation or change? Well, that's a big question. Now, before I proceed, this is a statement that you're going to listen to from the serving governor of Jigawa State in the north central of Nigeria or northwest of Nigeria. A young man, good young man, who in the midst of Fulanis like him, lying and supporting evil, he stood out like a colossus to speak the truth about what is taking place. Now, the Minister of Defense State in Nigeria is a terrorist, a mastermind of terrorism, and a two-term governor of Jigawa State in Nigeria. Yes. How can a terrorist be in charge of the Ministry of Defense in a country, of a serious country? This is what we are having with Ebola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, listen. So, in fact, let me say this very categorical. If I were him, I would resign and face all the allegations against me. And that would have been more honorable because from all the information we're getting, my predecessor was fully involved in some of these manipulations. Typical is the fact that there was a permanent secretary when his children were abducted. And it was unfortunate that he had to pay ransom through the government house. And it was also very clear, based on all the allegations, that bandits were being kept at government house. There are so many issues. So for me, honestly, if I were him, I would step aside and face this allegation until I clear my name before I come back and continue my job. That should have been more honorable. And how can you imagine all these allegations against him? And he's still the minister. Yeah, network is going to come back. Defense. I mean, that is unfair. This man could have been honorable, stay aside, face all these allegations, clear his name, and then come back and continue to do whatever he wants to do. Whether he wants to remain as minister or he wants to do something else, that would have been more honorable as far as I'm concerned. If I'm in that position, believe me, I'll put in my resignation letter. But Your Excellency, he has not been nailed by the EFCC. So why do you think he should have been probed before taking up the appointment? Stupid journalist. Stupid. In May last year, 2023, there was this allegation of misappropriating over 70 billion naira. And when we took over, we realized that 70 billion was a child's play compared to what we had. And all this information are before the EFCC. And I wonder how this guy was cleared by the security operatives. Corruption in Nigeria. They will clear him. They cleared him at the Senate. They cleared him at the Senate. Yes. As a minister. And the same thing I would say. If I were him, I will still face EFCC to say that, look,
Let me clear my name. This is a father of 41 children.
41 children. Irresponsible man. 41 children.
Is he going to leave for his children?
Yes. 41 children. 41 children. Bello Matawale has 41 children.
Misappropriating this amount of money. So, you should have come out clear.
From stealing from Nigeria.
Face EFCC, clear his name, and then come back and continue to do whatever he wants to do. Honestly, that would have been more honorable. But look at it. We're still waiting to hear from EFCC. The case has been ongoing for
You're not going to hear anything.
And
EFCC is as corrupt as corrupt. Everything in Nigeria is corrupt.
This is people's money. We need this money in Zamfara.
Everything.
All challenges we're facing with financial constraints. At least let's have some of this money back into Zamfara so that we can work for the people of Zamfara State. It is the kind of allegation that does not just...
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? A man who is the Minister of Defense in Nigeria is facing several allegations of financial impropriety. Yes. He is sitting there as the Minister of Defense. As if that is not even the most serious part of it. When he was governor, he built a house for the terrorists in the state. He was buying them operational vehicles with which they were kidnapping our people, raping our women, digging gold. Yes, unregulated. He was making money. He was making a lot of money. Nigeria is a lost cause. Yes, I feel sad to say that. With all that is taking place, he was appointed Minister of Defense, went through the security and was cleared, went through the Senate hearing committee and was cleared. Now he directs banditry and terrorism in Nigeria. And we are talking about security in Nigeria. And when Donald Trump made a statement that Nigeria is a country of concern and people were crying and talking about sovereignty that has never existed, the territorial integrity that we have never heard. Now, I'm going to read a message from one of them, a professor, Professor Suman Yusuf. Yes, just to tell you the mischief that the Fulani elites are in Nigeria. They are responsible for what happened to Nigeria. They are responsible for the destruction of Nigeria. Put them in any position, they will destroy it. The National Security Advisor is Fulani. What is he doing? Just today, we got an information that they handed rifles to Mieti Allah, the terrorist organization that is going through a process of being named as such here in the United States. At a time, the people of the country don't even know what to do. You wake up, you go somewhere, you can only be sure of when you left, but you never be sure if you are going to make it back. This is the Nigeria, giant of Africa. I don't believe that it ever was a giant of Africa. The country is now being exposed for what she has been. Now, let me read to you the statement made by the new overall defense minister, General Christopher Musa, on assumption of office by Professor Yusuf. Now hear this. War won't bring peace. Group rejects defense minister's call for military action against Fulani bandits. We strongly oppose the plan by Nigeria's new Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, to launch a war against Fulani bandits. His role is political, not military. And it requires listening to the people. We are not asking for a large-scale military operation. Our call is for dialogue and peaceful engagement, not contentious bloodshed. These are the people shedding people's blood, and they don't want justice. They don't want to be held accountable for the massacre that they have been carrying out on the indigenous peoples of Nigeria. How fair, how fair, how fair these Fulani elites are. How fair. They give violence and they are asking for peace without justice. How fair. Now let me continue. Experience has shown that military action does not work. We have gone into the forest, met with bandit leaders, and seen firsthand the destruction caused by military offensives and vigilante groups like Nyambanga. In reality, many of these bandits view themselves as freedom fighters. And he went on in his next speech to actually regard them as freedom fighters. This is a professor teaching students in a Nigerian university, somewhere in the north of Nigeria. Where on earth, where on earth does government negotiate with the killers? Where on earth does a people or do government or does a government use political solution or political approach to solve violent criminal acts that should be punished? My viewers, it will surprise you that since we have been talking about banditry and terrorism in Nigeria, not one person, not one mastermind has been fully prosecuted and sentenced to jail so that a closure will be brought to the victims. The Fulanis in Nigeria are on a mission to seize Nigeria. And the mission has been a generational mission. It started in 1804 when Osman Dan Fodio, their grandfather, seized the Hausa kingdoms, destroyed all of its kings, installed his children and his followers as kings over the majority Hausa people. In 1914, there was an amalgamation treaty that brought for the benefit of Imperial Britain the north and south of Nigeria together and put on a pathway to forming what became the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1960. At the amalgamation table, only two ethnic groups were involved in the signing. Yes. And there are over 400 ethnic nationalities in what became Nigeria. And none of those were involved. They were not signatories. And the amalgamation treaty was to last for 100 years. In 2014, the amalgamation treaty eventually elapsed. And Nigeria needed a way forward. Nigeria needed a new life. Nigeria needed a new constitution. Nigeria needed the signatories of all of its constituents. But no, they aborted it. They won't have it. And then the Fulanis took up guns and started shooting up the country to where we are right now. The country's future is near irredeemable. Yes, these people are a minority. Less than 1% of the country's entire population. Their population is put at less than 10 million. And the population of the entire Nigeria is put at about 250 million people. Now, how has it been possible for these people to hold Nigeria in chains? They came through the armed forces, control the armed forces, control all other strategic institutions in Nigeria. Not because they are the smartest people, not because they are the most educated people. What they did to the people of Nigeria with the help of Imperial Britain to put the whole country to sleep, why they went on a destructive tirade to where we are now, is something that warrant some scholarly researches. To the extent where we are right now, the country is being lost. That is exactly what is taking place. They have this audacity to claim the ownership of Nigeria. They will tell you that they are the owners of Nigeria. And how the 250 million Nigerians are still sleeping, even with the war raging before them, is something that is difficult, most difficult to comprehend. Most difficult to comprehend. Nigerians prefer to be dancing, to be marrying, to be praying without action. Yes. And these people are gaining grounds. They are seizing one village after the other, unchallenged by the country's military. Yes, because they have the control of the command and control infrastructure of the country's armed forces. They have seized the economy. They have seized just nearly everything. Yes. How are we going to get out of this? That is the question. But my anger now is, why are Nigerians sleeping? Why? Is it fear? Nigeria is a country of cowards as we speak. They will tell you, they will give you 200 reasons why they cannot rise up. They will give you 1 million reasons why it is impossible. But they won't stop crying. They won't stop complaining. How cowardly Nigerians have become. This generation of Nigerians, really, I don't know. I've never seen a thing like this. I've never seen a people who don't bear pains. Yes. Yes. I've never seen a people who will adjust with every mass murder. Every day we are burying people in numbers. These people came, they ran down our educational system. They ran down the economy. They destroyed our infrastructure. They destroyed our ways of life. They destroy everything. And those who ought to be standing up are not standing because of the tragedy of leadership in that country. How can you have a country in the hands of a drug dealer, a certificate forger, and an identity thief, paired with a known terrorist with ties to Boko Haram, and you want progress for that country? It's not going to happen. This is the dilemma of Nigeria. This is the pain most of us are dealing with. The people in Nigeria have given up on themselves. They have given up on their country. Yes, families are being massacred. They don't care. They don't care. They act like it's not their business. Bring them together to get anything done. They'll be telling you I'm Yoruba. The other one will be telling you I'm Igbo. Yes, their country is dying and they are feeling the negative impact. What kind of a people are Nigeria? Why are we really in one country? if we cannot unite to fight a common cause, if we can't unite to fight a common enemy, yes, a ragtag group of Fulanis are holding our country hostage. So we are going to wait for Donald Trump to come and intervene on our behalf. Yes, how long is it going to take? We don't know. We are praying without action. What kind of a people are we? What kind of message are we going to be told that will wake us up to the realization that our country is gone? We don't have a country anymore. You see the elites, they will come to the national television, pose, and be stretching, talking nonsense as their country is being destroyed. These criminals like Professor Yusuf, we go to the national television and tell them about what the Fulani race is. They will say that they don't forgive. Why are we in a country with a people who do not forgive? This is the question. The Nigerian youths are so lost. They don't behave like youths of other countries. They don't think that they owe their country any obligation. But yet they are the utmost risk of being destroyed. They don't care. They sleep through everything. What goes through their minds is what I don't understand. They hear stories about the people. The Nepalese youths came together the other day and then took their country, took their government down. The Nigerian youth is not like that. They want you to pay them money in order for them to be responsible. They don't think that they owe the country anything. But let me remind them, as citizens of Nigeria, you owe Nigeria much because Nigeria has given you a lot. It's just that you are not fighting for your spot in Nigeria. That is why terrorists have taken over your country. That is why Professor Osman Yusuf has the audacity to make the kind of provocative statements he will make and get away with it. That is why Gumi will say whatever he wants to say and get away with it. That's why that bloody fool, Sultan of Sokoto, Fulani Sultan of Sokoto, will come and say rubbish and get away with it. Because the country has no soul. The country has no leadership. The country's youth population are in disarray. They are confused. They are in ambivalence. Yes, they can't stand up for anything. They fall for everything. Why should a serious Nigerian be talking about 2027 when millions, thousands of our people are dying? How sure are you that you will make it to 2027 in order to cast that vote that will take Bola Ahmed Tinubu away? You could not defeat him when he was out there in the periphery. He still was able to come in there and make himself president. And you are talking about a time when he has his hand on the lever of power. And instead of you organizing to oust him through a revolution, you are telling me about APC. You are telling me about ADC. How is that going to happen? That ain't happening. It's not going to happen. Stop deceiving yourselves. Yes, the only way Nigeria can be set free is for the people of Nigeria to wake up. Yes, set everything aside, or these beasts of no nation will come and seize your country. And they are making a lot of progress in it on doing that. Otherwise, why is Bello Matawale still sitting as a Minister of Defense state in Nigeria? His other one resigned because he was ashamed of himself. A man who has been indicted, a man who has been named as one of those funding terrorism, is sitting as the state minister of defense. Yes, and then you brought General Christopher Musa to work with a criminal, to work with a terrorist. How do you want him to work? So, if Nigerians, if you are not sensible enough, you should be asking that question. How does Bola Ahmed Tinubu want to, well, General Victor Musa, Christopher Musa, to work with a terrorist, Dr. Bello Matawale? Why is he still retaining Bello Matawale as a state minister of defense? Why? What is the wisdom if Bola Ahmed is not a part of the scheme? He's part of the terrorism. So Nigerians, I am so disgusted. I am so ashamed of my Nigerianness as it stands right now. And I'm so ashamed of all of you who are sleeping. You know the truth. And some of you who are defending Bola Ahmed Tinubu on account of the fact that he's your tribesman. When until he start hitting you hard, you will understand. And it has already started. Nigeria does not have a lot of time to exist as a country. But take this from me. Yes, if it is in your place right now, yeah, I am not begging you, but you know I am telling you the truth. Yes, yes, this is exactly what it is. It is either you wake up, 240 million, 50 million Nigerians are cowards who cannot take on a few Fulani terrorists. Yes, but you won't stop dancing Davido. You won't stop dancing Bomber Boy. You won't stop dancing P Square. You won't stop dancing Flavor, whatever it is. Shame on all of you. I am so disgusted that Nigerians are such a ridiculous people. Yes, war is beating you, and you are here. Doing what? Waiting for what? 2027? How are you going to win in 2027? How are you going to win? When heavens opened up in 2023, you went to sleep. You were robbed. You couldn't come together to fight. Everybody was saying judiciary, all eyes on judiciary. All eyes were on judiciary. What happened? The judiciary did what they knew best. Corruption. Yes, they compromised everything. And you still could not read it. You like shifting goalposts. Now you shifted it to 2027. I bet you in 2037 you'll be shifting it again to 2031. Yes, this is Nigeria. I am not proud of this Nigerian. Thank God I'm not a coward. Some of you will tell me, come home, come home. Yes. What? Did I not come home? You don't tell me that anymore to come home. I came home. I came home with the intention of inspiring something in Nigeria. How many of you did I see? The few that I saw, what were you doing? You were thinking that I brought money to share to you. Yes, yes, the typical Nigerian way. Yes, you voted for a thief. And look at where you are right now. And I tell you, you will still do the same thing tomorrow. Because you are corrupt. Nigerians are a very corrupt people. Let's be factual about that. We shouldn't get angry. We should solve the problem. Are we not corrupt? Nigerians are a very damn corrupt people. So look at what corruption did to your country. Look at what corruption did to your country. Nigerians are corrupt. Very corrupt. Very, very corrupt people. Look at ragtag savages. What they have turned your country into. All you do is come and show me pictures of the most recent killings. Go and kill back, or you shut up your mouth, and I wait for them to take all everybody. Yes, shame on all of you, Nigerians. I'm so disgusted. This is disgusting. Nothing angers them. Nothing. Nothing angers a typical Nigerian. Nothing. Some people just came from somewhere and decided to take over your country. They breathe down on you. You are scared of them. Yes, cowards. Nigerians are cowards. Bye for now.